Good. All right, people's good Wednesday morning. And we've got Yield Max Group A, October 30. So these will be paid on Friday, November 1. So I labeled them up here November, but just know that their declaration on 10/30. So you've got to own these. So you need to buy today on Wednesday if you want to receive these dividends. If you already own, that's great. All right, so Tesla, a little disappointing, a little less than 60 cents, 0.5986 last month was a good month with $1.09, and the previous month was 81. So it's still a 60% yield with yesterday's close, Tuesday's close being 1285. Um, so kind of interesting on that front, but Tesla's been up and down, and I'm still pretty bullish on Tesla long term, but that doesn't, I talked about in some of my other ones just how volatile these markets are going to be. I also think that the time period between the election result and the certification on January 6th is going to be very interesting. I think we could get that sell off there, and I think there'll be a lot of volatility. For those of you that haven't read or looked at that, I want you to, some of you are already going to know this, but I'll ask you the rhetorical question. Who certifies the election? The vice president. Correct. Well, guess who the vice president is? And that vice president is also one of the candidates. So imagine if a certain party wins that's not the current vice president running for president. Would there be some issues on the Democratic side? And would that person not wanting to certify or refusing to certify? It could go the other way. I mean, of course, the vice president would certainly certify her results. In fact, if she is the victor in the election. So just, I'm seeing a lot of things in my cycle work that's pointing to gold continuing up and the Dow and the index is going down in the November, December timeframe. So we shall see. We may still hit 6,000 on the S&P. We've been in getting close, but just worth pointing out a couple of the things in my market indicators and some anomalies. Okay, let's get into ARC. Okay, ARC is down. So our first two reports are down fairly significant, less than 30 cents. Last month it paid 40. September it paid under 30. So we're even below that at 1044. So that's a 35.18% yield on ARC. So Google, GUI, 3771. That's up. The first of the three that's up, it's a 31% yield. I don't know if Google's already reported. I know 6 of the 7 report this week. I haven't tracked who all has. Somewhere I put up on my list with pre-market. So Zomo, ExxonMobil, 33. It's in between. It's also up. So we had 2 down, 2 up. And what's that yielding? 26.26. Okay, with the current price of 1675. This is a little disappointing. Why bit? Okay, but I've always said, two funds that I really was optimistic, but I sold out, don't like them at all, is Ybit, using BITO as the underlying. I mean, why do that? Just buy BITO. So you got all kinds of issues. It's got a 13.99 price, so it's just been horribly beat up. It's dropping. It's the third lowest, and here you are at 73,000. If nothing more, just look at that. It shows you how bad these funds can perform. GDXY and YBIT are two prime examples of where I'm bullish on the underlying, but the funds can't get out of their own way. So that is a 65.28% yield, but I'm losing 30% in my NAV on this kind of a product if I still owned it. So crashes down quite a bit, but that's because it's the inverse of Tesla. Tesla hasn't done all that bad, but it hasn't done that well. So mediocre, you need big moves one way or the other. So it's still a 51.38, but when you've been used to getting a dollar and now you're under 50 cents, that's a big drop. So we had two down, two up, now two down. Why does this? I keep typing a period and it's taking a comma. Okay, let me do a save on this. All right. So snowy, right? Snowflake, 55 cents. So down quite a bit from September, but up from October. So we do have an up move here, yielding 43.15%. TSMY, I know you guys knew the earnings were last week and they had fabulous earnings. And that's almost 90 cents, people. Look at 37.14 on their first distribution. You expected this to move up. The stock is above its NAV price, 54.47 it's yielding. All right, for you guys that love the weeklies, YMAX, 61% yield. That's doing pretty well. It's excellent, right? Second week in a row. Um, and this is more of a monthly, and now these are weekly, so it's less relevant. Um, but I could go to what they did last week. Let's take a look at the Group D. Yeah, it was 2268. So it's 2247. So that's two back to back. Okay. And then YMAX had a 17 in the group C, and before that it had 20. I'll start to organize this a little bit better so you guys can see the back month. So these, since YMAX and YMAG are weekly, I'll build this out so you can see what the weeks have been doing. These are still all monthly, and all the other funds, just not YMAX and YMAG, as you know. So we definitely moved up 16 cents more than the 5 cents. So as people commented, the big problem here was you only had one contributor the week before, right? In Group C. You only had Microsoft, MSFO. This week or last week you had AMZ and Aptly paying, so you had two of the Mag 7, so therefore you're up to 16 cents. And in this case, you've got GUI, Tesla in your mag group, so it should be pretty good continuing. That's a move up. It's a 44% yield, but for those of you, to me, YMAX gives me the big disparity. Okay, guys, that's what I got. I'm not going to keep you any longer than necessary here. So the Group A, that's your distributions. All right, guys, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Have a great day ahead. All right, bye for now.